it's Jen from Moonrose Fiber Studio. Today we'll be crocheting a summer beach bag. To make up our summer bag, we'll be carrying 3 strands of yarn at a time, so you need 3 skeins of a medium weight cotton. You'll also need 3 skeins of an accent color. This creates your stripes and your flowers. I went with a rose. You'll need some yarn needles, a stitch marker, a pair of scissors. I have a P hook, which is 11.5 millimeters, and I also have an H hook, which is 5 millimeters. I will link all of these materials below, along with some suggestions for other cottons that would work well. Our finished beach bag will measure 12 inches wide by 10 inches high. We'll begin our project with our creamy cotton and our P hook, or 11.5 millimeters. And we're going to make sure all 3 of these skeins are arranged into center pool balls, and off we go. We begin our project by making the base of our bag. To do so, chain 19, but make sure these chains are on the loose side. You can see that I'm kind of pulling on the hook a little bit and making these chains a little bit bigger than normal. We're going to be working both into the back bumps and into the right side of this chain, so it will be very helpful in the future if you make your chain nice and easy to work into. Okay, here we go. Our 19 chains are complete and nice and loose. We'll begin by working across the back bumps of this beginning chain. For row 1, you'll work a single crochet into the second chain from your hook, and then simply single crochet across. This will give you 18 stitches. Then chain 1 and turn. I have jumped ahead to the last few stitches of row 1. Then we chain 1 and turn. Let's check the length real quick. We're at about 10.5 inches or 26.5 centimeters. Now for rows 2 through 4, we're going to just single crochet across, chain 1, turn. Each row will have 18 stitches, and I'll meet you back here at the end of row 4. Speaking of row 4, when we reach the end of this row, we will not chain 1 and turn. At this point, our base is complete. We've got our 4 rows of single crochet, and now we're going to start working on the body of the bag. The body of the bag is worked in the round, so rather than chaining 1 and turning, we're going to work across the end rows. You can see here there are 3 openings that we can easily fit our hook into, and into each of these we'll work a half double crochet. So you'll be working 3 half double crochets evenly across the short end of the base. I'm going to go ahead and grab my stitch marker and mark that first half double crochet. And now we're going to be working across our beginning chain. This is when making that chain loose will pay off. You're going to do a half double crochet increase in the first stitch. That simply means to work 2 half double crochets in that stitch. And then you'll half double crochet across until you reach the last stitch. And you'll work a half double crochet increase in that stitch. And that will take us to the end of the beginning chain. Once again, we're going to work 3 half double crochets evenly across these end rows. And now we'll complete this round by working a half double crochet increase in the next stitch. Now we're working across row 4 of the base. Then 16 half double crochets across. And a half double crochet increase in the last stitch. Round 1 will have 46 stitches in all. As you work, the right side of the bag is facing you. Round 1 curves up from the base and starts working on the sides. And now we're on to round 2. Now round 2 is a longer round, so it's a little unique. We'll start by working 19 half double crochets. Mark your first stitch so it's easy to find. When we get to our 19th stitch, we'll be changing to our accent color on the last yarn over pull through 3. With the accent color, we'll be making X stitches or cross stitches. To do so, you'll skip the very next stitch, and then you're going to work a double crochet in the stitch after that, and then you're going to go back and work a double crochet in the stitch that you skipped. This creates our cross stitch. So you'll skip the next stitch, this one here, you'll double crochet in the next, and then you go back and work a double crochet in the skipped stitch. Continue making cross stitches all the way around. When you get to that beginning stitch marker, go ahead and remove it and continue on with your cross stitches. Remember, this is a long round. We will actually be repositioning our starting point for future rounds. Here we are at our last cross stitch. Begin this stitch as you normally would, but then on the last yarn over, you're going to change back to your cotton. So I'm just going to drop that stripe yarn and yarn over with my cotton and pull through the last 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to go ahead and start making my half double crochets of round 3. I'm just working a couple of stitches just to help with my yarn tension we can go ahead and put our stitch marker in that first half double crochet. This is going to be our first stitch of the round going forward. And now we can do a little bit of yarn management. I'm going to go ahead and cut our accent color, and then I'm actually going to tie it into a square knot that's right over left and then left over right. I don't normally knot, but because these stitches are a little more open, I want to make sure that the yarn is secure. I will also be weaving in these ends later. While we're at it, let's take a moment and weave in our beginning tail. It's just nice to get some of this yarn out of our way. And now we can carry on. So for rounds 3 through 5, we're back to working our half double crochets around. We're going to mark the first stitch of each round, and each round will contain 46 stitches. Just a friendly reminder, when you get back to the beginning of each round, you'll remove the stitch marker, place your first stitch of the next round, and then replace the stitch marker. At the end of round 5, we're going to do what we did before. In order to line up our striped rows, we're going to remove the stitch marker and work 2 more half double crochets. That way, when we start our next round of cross stitches, they'll start in approximately the same place. On that last yarn over, pull through 3, we're going to be swapping our colors and changing back to our cross stitch color. And then we're going to work our round of cross stitches just as before. There will be 23 cross stitches in total. I've done a little time traveling here, and already I'm on the last cross stitch. With that last yarn over, pull through 2, we'll change back to our cotton. I like to go ahead and place my first half double crochet of the next round. I'll mark that stitch with my stitch marker, and then I'll go ahead and cut my cross stitch yarn and tie that off in the back. You can see the body of our bag is now right about 12 inches wide, and it's growing in height. For rounds 7 through 9, we're back to half double crochets. Remember to mark the first stitch of each round, and I will see you at the end of round 9. Here we are, once again leaping ahead to the end of round 9. Just as before, we're going to add a couple more half double crochets just to line up our cross stitch round. On this last half double crochet, I'm going to change back to my cross stitch or my stripe color. And by now you know the drill. We're going to work a round of cross stitches. So round 10 is going to be our last cross stitch round. Remember to change back to your cotton on the last stitch. This too will have 23 cross stitches. We have reached round 11, and for this round you will simply half double crochet all around the body of your bag. There will be 46 stitches in this round. I'm still taking just a moment to mark my first stitch and to tie off my cross stitch yarn before moving on to round 11. At the end of round 11, the body of our bag is complete. It may feel unsettling to have our cross stitch rounds not line up perfectly, but remember that's exactly where we'll be placing our decorative flowers. It brings the whole design together and we get to enjoy the seamlessness of working in the round. Okay, no time to waste. We're going to move on ahead to our first shoulder strap. This shoulder strap begins with 16 single crochets. So this is row 1 of the first shoulder strap. We're switching from half double crochets to single crochets. You may want to mark your first single crochet just in case you lose count. We're going to work these 16 single crochets and then we'll chain 1 and turn. Row 2 begins with a single crochet decrease. To do this, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, then yarn over, pull through 3. Then we'll work 14 single crochets across, and then we'll work a final single crochet decrease, chain 1 and turn. Note that this last decrease is worked into half double crochets from the previous round. For rows 3 through 8, these rows will be worked in the same way. You'll work a single crochet decrease, then you'll single crochet across until the last 2 stitches, and then you'll work a final single crochet decrease, chain 1 turn. So rows 3 through 8 will have a decrease at the beginning and ending of each row. Your rows will get shorter and shorter, and at the end of row 8, there will only be 4 stitches. Row 9 is just a little bit different. You'll work a single crochet in the first stitch. So here we go. And then you'll work a decrease over the next 2, and then you'll work a single crochet in the last stitch. This takes our number of stitches down to 3, and this will be the width of our shoulder strap. You can see that our decrease rows gently taper down until we're at the width of our shoulder strap. So for rows 10 through however long you want your shoulder strap to be, you're just going to be single crocheting across 3 stitches and then chain 1 and turn. I typically wear this bag as a crossbody, so around 36 rows works really well for me. This is where you really get to customize this summer beach bag. If you're not interested in a crossbody, you can make the shoulder strap even shorter. You can use a bag that you already own to guide your shoulder strap length, or you can actually hold it up to the top of your shoulder as the strap gets to be about the right length, and see if you like the way the bag is hanging on your body. Cotton will stretch a little bit, but not too much. Just remember, once you have some weight in the bag, it will get a little bit longer. For now, the project must go on, so we're going to begin our second shoulder strap. So with the back of the bag facing, we're going to skip 5 stitches, and then we're going to join with a single crochet to the next stitch. Just insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we're going to work 17 more single crochets across, then chain 1, turn. This is row 1 of our second shoulder strap. I'm finishing up this row, and now the front side of our bag is facing, and count, and you'll see that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unworked stitches on the front side of the bag as well. Everything should work out very evenly. We're going to chain 1 and turn. Rows 2 through 8 are those decrease rows. You'll begin each of these rows with a single crochet decrease, single crochet across until only 2 stitches remain, and then work a final single crochet decrease, chain 1 and turn. When you reach row 9, you'll work a single crochet and then a single crochet decrease and then a final single crochet. This gets us down to our 3 stitches, and then you can chain 1 and turn. For this side of the shoulder strap, you'll do the same number of rows as you did for the first strap. You still have time to adjust your length and make your final decision about how long you want your bag to be. What style? Do you want a crossbody or a shoulder bag? Once you're happy with the length of your shoulder straps, it's time to work on the edging. Now that our straps are complete, it's time to do some finishing work. We're going to create a nice edge around each side of the straps. You can see that I've turned my bag over with the back facing. I'm making sure that there is no twist in either of my straps, and that the right side of each strap is facing forward. And before I even attach these 2 straps together, I am going to work a round of single crochets. We're going to single crochet all around these 2 straps. I had 36 rows, so I'll be making 36 single crochets down the side of this strap. If you have 30 rows or 40 rows, That's the number of single crochets you'll make. I'm speeding up, but I'm going to film this whole process on this side. Take your time, make sure you're getting one single crochet in the end of each row. Now I'm going down those decrease rows. It would be easy to accidentally put in an extra single crochet at the bottom of the strap. Just make sure you're doing a single crochet at the end of each row. Then we'll work 5 single crochets across these unworked stitches, our 5 skipped stitches. And now we're going to work our way back up the other side. Be careful not to add an extra stitch there. The first stitch is where we joined with a single crochet, and I'm taking a little extra time to make sure that knot is facing the back of the bag. So here we are, back at the top. Now watch carefully, because I'm going to turn the straps over so that the wrong side is facing, and I'm going to join these 2 straps together on the wrong side with 3 slip stitches. A slip stitch is just inserting your hook, yarn over, and pull through both those stitches and the loop on your hook. Once I work those 3 slip stitches, I need to turn my bag around, because now we're going to be working down the other side of the straps. Now I've got a little bit of an issue when I try to go down the other side. The yarn is on the wrong side of my work, so I'm going to take my working skeins and just put them right under the strap, and then I'm ready to work the other side. Chain 1, and now we're going to do this side the same way. We'll be working 1 single crochet into the end of each row. Once again, be careful not to add any extra stitches, especially where the shoulder straps meet the body of the bag. Work your 5 single crochets across, and then back up the second strap. Once you've made your way back to the top, go ahead and cut your working yarn. And I haven't pulled it through the loop. What I'm going to do is first I'm going to take the loop that was on my hook and I'm going to push it through the next stitch so that it's facing the wrong side of my work, and then I'm going to pull the tail in through the loop. And that just gives us a nice finish. Now it's time to weave in our loose ends. I'm going to weave them in, not where we did the slip stitches, but one row down, just because I don't want that to be too bulky on the shoulder. Continue with the rest of your loose ends. There'll be a couple more tail ends of the cotton. I also like to weave in my cross stitch yarn. If you just want to make sure that these knots are really secure and cut off the excess yarn, you'll get no judgment from me. Our bag is complete except for the fun part. It is flower time. We'll be making the Deco rose today. You can see how adding these roses where the cross stitches meet really completes this cute little bag. There are so many cute crochet flower patterns. Feel free to change this up with your favorite flower. Imagine sunflowers or daisies. This is your opportunity to really personalize the bag. The Deco rose is quick and easy, so let me show you how it's done. You'll leave a 12-inch tail for sewing later and then begin by chaining 21. Believe it or not, there are only 2 rows in this flower. For row 1, you'll single crochet increase in the second chain from your hook. That just means to place 2 single crochets in that stitch, and then you're going to do a single crochet increase in each stitch across. When you're done, you'll see that your work is starting to coil. That's exactly what you want. Chain 3 and turn, and now work a double crochet in that first stitch, and now you're going to work a double crochet increase across. So in each stitch, place 2 double crochets. There will be a total of 80 stitches when you're done. When you finish off, leave another 12-inch tail because we'll need that for sewing. You can go ahead and cut that working yarn and pull it through the loop on your hook. And now we'll be shaping our Deco rose. We're going to start with that same end where we finished off. And we're just going to start to wind the fabric around. And you're lining up that edge of double crochets. So you can see I'm just carefully working my way around and lining each round up to the edge of the previous round. Until my coil runs out and my little rose is done. Now thread that end tail into one of your yarn needles and pass this to the wrong side of the flower. We're going to secure our flower in place with this working yarn. I'm going to pass the yarn through all the layers of the coil. I'm going to go back and forth and work my way around the flower, doing my best to catch each round of coil. Once you've made your way around the flower, turn it over and go ahead and check and make sure that the flower is nicely tacked down. Don't cut that yarn or finish that off. We still need that piece. And now we're going to thread the beginning tail and use that to secure the end of our coil to the back side of the flower. I'm doing this with just 3 little whip stitches. And then I want to pass this yarn so that it's sitting on the opposite side of the flower from that other tail. We'll be using these to secure our deco rows to our bag. Line your flower up as shown. And then you can pass these beginning and ending tails through the bag to the back side. First, I like to tack these threads in place with another square knot. And then I'm going to rethread each tail and use this yarn to make sure that our flower is really well attached to the bag. I want the flower to be anchored in more than just 2 spots. This only takes a minute or 2, and it ensures that our flowers will stay on our bag. After I'm done tacking the flower down, I'll weave in each loose end, and then I'll do the same for my last 2 flowers. If you're using this as a beach bag or a market bag, it may be fine for you to leave it unlined. If you would like to line your bag, I have a tutorial and I'll link that below. For bags like this, I like to use a simple magnet closure. You can see I just have a magnet sewn into each side. I also think it's fun to buy little canvas bags. You can get these at the craft store or maybe on Amazon. And that gives you an extra compartment in your purse, or even 2. A nice place for your sunglasses. And this is just an extra finishing touch that you can do if you're interested. We'll set that aside for now and take a moment to admire our completed summer beach bag. I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope that you'll enjoy making it your own. If you would like to share your completed projects with me, I have my Instagram listed below. I'd love to see what you do. Here we are at the end of another pattern. Please hit like and subscribe. I post every Tuesday, and I'm really looking forward to sharing more of my patterns with you. Hit that notification bell so that you never miss a new design. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.